I want to play a little bit of what this person is saying in here, and I do agree with this content creator about this issue because we've gone from society cursing basically gay, lesbian, queer populations or their kids, right? So it went from any child that was considered gay as a teen or one of the LGBTQ community, they used to be outcast by the parents. And the parents, especially when it comes to religious belief systems and stuff, they would be overly aggressive towards the kids and be non-supportive of that child's viewpoints. However, now we've gotten to the point where instead of auto-correcting the wrongs, it's gotten to the point of being over-corrected, leaning on abusive. Okay, so if you're a parent, and I want to play some of the stuff that's being said here. If you're a parent and you really need to not be pushing your belief systems when it comes to sexuality onto your children, no matter if the child, pushing them as a heterosexual or gay, right? Or lesbian or queer, whatever. Because children are pretty much not sexual beings up until a certain age. So pushing your beliefs because you feel like that's the way society wants them to go is just as bad. It's just as bad pushing, the LGBTQ belief onto a child as it is for Christianity to force heterosexualism onto children who are teens who are actually gay, right? So you're doing just as much harm to your children as a Christian would be to their children who might actually happen to have a gay, lesbian, queer child, right? Or trans child. You're harming them just the same. Listen to this. Watch this.
The boy is actually telling people about what she's doing, questions what he's saying, and the boy simply says, facts.
What are you saying right now? Facts.
And finally, the mom pretends she doesn't know what the boy is talking about, and the boy explicitly tells everyone that she is trying to convince him to join the LGBT community.
That I would convince you to join what?
The LGBTQIA plus community.
Why is this video so disturbing? Well, it tells us from a first-hand experience what we already know is happening. There are countless children who, under normal circumstances, would not be part of the LGBTQ community, but are being pressured and brainwashed by their parents into becoming part of this anti-biblical ideology and movement. I hope this boy will receive help in fighting back against what his mom is clearly trying to convince him to do, against his will. Here's another very disturbing video of a mother who has clearly coached her child to say exactly what she wants him to say.
I don't want to win any trophies for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
What's it about?
Having fun with your friends for it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
Kieran seems undeterred with a message now about her journey.
Never stop being you. That's it.
Never stop being you.
There's so many kids that don't even have the opportunity to express who they really are. We are acknowledging more people as who they are than taking something away from somebody else.
Again, there are a number of concerning things about this video. First, notice the mother mouthing the exact words that her child is saying, which pretty clearly suggests that these lines were rehearsed and memorized together.
For it, though. I feel like that's the most unfair way to compete because it's not about winning.
If you like this video, subscribe to help spread the truth. And second, take a look at the mom's tearful performance after this.
There's so many kids that don't even have the opportunity to express who they really are. We are acknowledging more people as who they are than taking something away from somebody else.
Hold on one
again,
second.
rather than this child naturally deciding that he is transgender, it seems very clear that his mother is an LGBTQ activist who has actively pushed and pressured her child to embrace LGBTQ ideologies and become transgender. And from the fact that the mother coached her child to say exactly what the mother wanted the child to say, it seems clear that rather than simply letting the child himself say what he wants to say, the mother wants to make sure her message is communicated to the world. There is now a 10-year-old child who is being praised as being the youngest trans model ever. Did this child decide for himself that he was transgender, or was he pressured and brainwashed into living this way? The answer should be clear by now.
10-year-old Noella McMayer is already making her dreams come true. 6 years after she began transitioning, 6 years, okay, the child is 10.
We're supposed to believe that age 4, this boy knew that he was a female and began the process of
So this is what I want to say about that. So that particular mother and a lot of mothers are pushing their own belief systems and their own fears about gender identity onto their kids, and that's not cool. You basically are doing you're doing brainwashing like religious groups do to their children. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the exact same thing. This woman literally coached her child to say those things. And this is the thing, children do, they're like, I have a friend who's transgender, and she knew, that she was female in her mind ever since she was 7 years old. However, she didn't get the surgeries to transition until she was like 26, 27. Okay? Stop as a parent pushing this type of identity onto your child. Let your child grow into their own identity. Let me just say this. I had a discussion with somebody. I was a tomboy when I was a kid, right? I like to climb trees. I like to do what all my brothers did as a child. And this is the thing about children. Children are very fluid. Their identity is very fluid. They can, they can go in and out of male and female roles very easily. Does it make them transgender? No. Does it make them gay? No. Does it make them straight? No. I just don't understand parents pushing their ideology onto small children. Let children be fluid, okay? And then when they become adults, and if they happen to actually be transgender or feel that they are transgender and want to transition, let them be adults to make that decision. Let them choose as an adult to get the surgery. Don't alter your child because they may change their mind when they become 22, 23, 24, and you've already made them physically altered. You've already got them their surgeries, and this is a train wreck. Let me just say that. Let me just say pushing your ideology onto a child is a train wreck. Let your child be fluid. And when your child becomes an adult, let them make their own decisions as an adult. This is crazy.